Look at my African American over here. Look at him. Are you the greatest? So we have an African American guy at one of the rallies a month ago.
The black church, the black businesses.
Black, African American. You know, people of colors.
Your role reserved for colored people.
Since we've been here in America, we've had all these different names for ourselves, either thrust upon us or ones we chose, from colored to Negro to Afro-American to black to African-American. You know, there's the problematic words of Spanish and Portuguese colonialism and their slave trade. So the blacks were called Negroes in both languages, so they were just called blacks. So we use the word Negro. If you say colored people, that smacks of the 40s.
Black power means the saving grace of our United States.
The late 50s, early 60s, civil rights activists on the more radical end were starting to say, we are not colored people, we're not Negroes, we are black. They wanted to go all the way. In that same way of saying, well, not white. So they really planted a really strong flag for the Black Power movement, the Black Panthers, the Black Arts movement, and the song. Jesse Jackson proclaimed one day in the late 80s, we are now going to call ourselves African American. And a lot of people just thought, well, who were they to decide what we're going to call ourselves now? And it felt at first like a step backwards because black really was a big catch-all, but also so powerful.
I don't know how far back, and I don't know what country in Africa I'm from. I'm not an African American, I'm an American.
It really depends on the context. I think that black is just a fantastic, positive word that everybody should feel free to use.
I'm going to help the African Americans for the African American, making our inner cities better for the African American.
By adding the to it and the S at the end, the blacks, it just shows how sort of tone deaf they are. Harks back to kind of an old-fashioned, non-PC look at us as some kind of other to be afraid of.
I have a great relationship with the blacks. I've always had a great relationship with the blacks. Unfortunately,
I can't not tease Jay about the kind of like brother way he was taught to talk, and you know, like, hey, with the rap music in the background. There would be some people that feel that you co-opted something like that.
It's
you
also
talking
interesting
that way to
because
me.
I'm actually black, but you assumed otherwise. And this is the sort of opposition we look forward to.
Absolutely.
I think, but these two counters
No, but on top of all that, I am clearly brown skinned, and people are always saying to me, you talk white.
This is a Black Nouveau Web exclusive. This is the second in a three-part interview with diversity trainer and human rights activist Jane Elliott. Now, we often hear about reverse racism now.
There's no such thing as reverse racism. There's no such thing as reverse racism. You can only be a racist if you have the power to institutionalize what you're doing to people who are different from you. What we're calling reverse racism is natural reaction to being treated unfairly on the basis of somebody else's ignorance. Now, don't ever let anybody say to you or about anyone around you that people don't like that person because of the color of their skin. That isn't the reason white people don't like people of color. They don't like people of color because they don't understand about skin color. And they don't understand that we all are descendants of somebody who looked like your mother.
That's deep.
You don't really want to get me started on this because
I do want to get you started.
I'm really angry about how we are miseducating the American mind.
And what I like the most about what you're doing in your exercises is that you come in with a very direct attitude. You even call yourself the B word.
Well, but you see, the B word for me is the one that's most often used to refer to me. It used to bother me a lot. For me, the B word is an acronym for being in total control, honey. So you want to call me that? It'll prove to me that you're out of control. And then I'll whip out my little Lorena Bobbitt fruit knife and take care of it for you. Go on.
So is it necessary to strip away all of a white person's power, like in your exercises, in order for them to see the light? Or is there another way
It's necessary to do what we do in offices and in the military and in schools and colleges and in hospitals and in community groups all the time. What we do is we become our parent ego. We go into our parent ego state, and that forces all those we're working with into their child ego state. And if you watch our present so-called president, he spends most of his time either in his child or his parent ego state. He never gets into his adult ego state unless he's reading off the teleprompter. And he is such a poor reader that oftentimes he makes mistakes, and then he is instantly in his child ego state right in front of your very eyes. It's absolutely fascinating to watch it happen.
Speaking of our president, a lot of people say that racism has risen under him.
Anybody who doesn't say that hasn't been paying attention. It absolutely has. I'm getting more hate mail now than I have gotten for years. The kinds of things that are being said in this country today are things that he has said for the last 2 years. He has said them publicly, and he got elected because he said them publicly. We have a group of people in the United States of America who were in response to 8 years of a black man in the White House and the possibility that they might have from 4 to 8 years of a woman in the White House, will elect anything that walks and can chew gum at the same time. This last election, as far as I'm concerned, was a direct response to having a black man in the White House for 8 years. And it's time to change the White House to the President's house. This is ridiculous, to call the place where the President of the United States lives the White House. It sends the wrong message. It says, I remember when Richard Nixon said to a group of reporters, "I'm trying to save the White House for you white people." That says it all. And at that moment I thought, well, wait a minute. Now this is something that has to be changed, and it has to be changed. Nothing can stop an idea whose time has come. It's time to change the name of the White House to the President's house or the President's residence, which has a nice ring to it, don't you think?
Okay, let's just say that Donald Trump, President Trump, is trying to bring the country together like he said he would do. Wait a second, he's trying to bring the country together. How would he go about doing that?
Resign. If he really wants to bring the country together, all he has to do is resign and take his, with him? The second in command, the vice president. That would bring the country together.
Today I want to talk about how to grow
right now, the
African-American middle class and to provide a new deal for black America. That deal is grounded in 3 promises: safe communities, great education, and high-paying jobs. My vision rests on a principle that has defined this campaign right from the beginning, and you've seen where we've come from and where we are right now. It's called America First. Every African-American citizen in this country is entitled to a government that puts their jobs, wages, and security first. One of the greatest betrayals has been the issue of immigration. Illegal immigration violates the civil rights of African Americans. That's what's been happening. No group has been more economically harmed by decades of illegal immigration than low-income African American workers. I will also propose tax holidays for inner-city investment, a new tax incentive to get foreign companies to relocate in blighted American neighborhoods, and they will do that it will be worthwhile. It's called incentive. They will do it. I am very humbled beyond words to be the nominee of the party of Abraham Lincoln. A lot of people don't know that. It's the party of Abraham Lincoln. And it is my highest and greatest hope that the Republican Party can be the home in the future and forevermore for African Americans and the African American vote, because I will produce and I will get others to produce, and we know for a fact it doesn't work with the Democrats, and it certainly isn't going to work with Hillary.
Jesus walk. Jesus walk.